Hello, my name is Nur Shafika binti Shuib. Matric number JP10918/19. In this video, I'm going to talk about the application of stereo microscope in industries. But first, what is exactly stereo microscope? A stereo microscope is an optical microscope that provides a three-dimensional view of a specimen. It is also known by other names such as a stereo zoom microscope and dissecting microscope. So, how does stereo microscope work? A stereo microscope uses reflect light from the object. It magnifies at the lower power, hence ideal for amplifying opaque object. Since it uses light that naturally reflect from the specimen, it is helpful for examining solid or thick sample. The magnification of a stereo microscope range between 20x and 50x. Opaque objects like plastic injection molding product, electronic component, precious metal part, and biological specimen are visible under a stereo microscope magnification. Stereo microscope magnification also help sort, visualize spherical surface in 3 dimensions, which allow for true examination of specimen. In other words, stereo microscope make it simple to view a sample in an entire field of the view. Then, focus and zoom on the particular part of the interest. Next are the use of stereo microscope in industries. Stereo microscopes are used as quality control instrument in plastic injection molding product. It is used to inspect the physical defect of mold plastic part. A mold plastic part usually have many edges and are required to inspect in many different angles of view. Thus, stereo microscopes are the best instrument to view and zoom to any critical area of plastic molded part. Inspection operators usually are required to inspect many parts in short amount of time. Stereo microscope provide the freedom of the viewer to see many angles, and the part can be held by hand while being observed under the scope, thus giving the operator less time for inspection per product. Stereo microscopes are also used to inspect microfracture on the precious metal part in plastic mold. Plastic mold usually are many of high-grade alloy, and it is usually worked under an enormous amount of pressure and heat in injection machines. Technicians usually inspect each part of any defect or fracture to avoid accident during production and to avoid a loss of plastic material due to the defect mold cavity. Other use of stereo microscope are in the field of electronic to inspect soldering connection, part orientation, and leaf soldering on micro part. Another use of stereo microscope are in the field of electronic to inspect soldering connection, part orientation, and leaf soldering on micro part. As for conclusion, we can conclude that stereo microscope simplify work for workers in industries. Thank you.